Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel, our website, or our social media. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we're turning back the clock to the late 2000s. Right here, we have a G-Series Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Chronograph, reference 25860OR, 39mm in red gold. This is the much-loved 39. The timepiece, of course, reasonably thin at 11.1mm, excellent for a sports watch. Two ways to measure it. If you just measure the case, then it's 48.8mm, but because the intermediate links, the plots do extend it a little bit, you see I can't pull it straight down, the bracelet flares a bit, and that creates a dimension of 52mm from side to side across the wrist. Throw it on the wrist. First, I can say, for a 39, it feels beefy. There's a lot of gold here, and you're reminded of it. I happen to love a luxury watch that feels its price, and if you get the same kind of psychic satisfaction, this is the watch for you. Now, it's easy to wear under a cuff, because you can see not only is it not terribly thick, but the bezel is ramped. And the timepiece is not excessively broad across the wrist. Remember, Royal Oaks always wear bigger than their nominal size. Think of this as wearing more like a 41 or a 42 round watch, and you get the basic idea. It is comfortable, and the bracelet is made by people who have a lot of experience making bracelets, which means on the underside, we'll take a quick look down there, you can see that there are big gaps between the links that don't exist on the top. That to better vent the wrist on a hot day and avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. The bracelet, like the case and the clasp, immaculately hand finished. This is what you're really buying when you buy a Royal Oak. To see it executed on steel is special, but to see it executed on precious metal is divine. There are polished intermediate links, so you can see the faces of these links inside the bracelet are polished. You really only see that when you roll the bracelet through the light. So they're finishing this bracelet in ways and places you ordinarily wouldn't even see with the naked eye. The bracelet's held on by bars and screws, which is the right way to build an expensive and heavy watch. Absolute security, no chance as with spring bars that it might pop off. There's a perfectly executed bevel that you'll see is expanding along the lug hood, expands completely on the lug end, and then continues perfectly aligned from link to link. There is satin finish, there is polish, and as you can see, the satin finish isn't uniform as it's longitudinal on the top and vertical on the side. Attention to detail is excellent. Removable links, as you can see here, are fixed in place by screws. The way Patek Philippe no longer does it, Audemars Piguet keeps the faith with collectors and builds bracelets to the higher standard with screw-fixed removable links. There is a trigger-actuated, single fold deploying clasp, so you just pull the trigger back. I no longer have the nails I used to have. I trim them for your viewing pleasure. And you can see that there is an AP high polish logo style folding buckle internally. Now, just as with the bracelet, the case is hand finished. The bracelet takes about 10 hours to finish. You have to add a few more hours for the bezel and the case, adding up in total to almost 20 hours of finishing for all these components. You can see that there are screw-down crown and chronograph pushers. In conjunction with the 50-meter water resistance, I consider the screw-down functionality to mean this is a true surface swimmable watch. You can see the shoulders as well as the crown in hexagonal form, and that's because the white gold bolts inside the bezel are also hexagonal. The rounded octagonal bezel, which is polished on its flank and satin on its top, is inspired by a diving helmet. That was the original muse for Royal Oak designer Gerald Genta back in 1972. The dial is the Grande Tapisserie, which is the large hobnail dial. There is a petite for the traditional jumbo and a mega for the offshore. This is in between. Critically, this has more in common with the petite because this is cut on a pantograph, whereas the offshore's mega is stamped. So this is cut on a 19th century mimicry engine that recreates the pattern on the dial base. You can see that there is a set of contrasting registers with a combination of polished rose gold outer chapter rings. You can see white on black printing. It's actually a very dark black in gloss for the individual registers, and then silvered centers. The dial is silvered, and you can see outboard there is a darker silver concentric brushed track for the seconds and minutes, and then we have individual rose gold baton style hands with applique rose gold indices. There will be a lume shot. There's a date down at 4:30, and if you turn the watch over, a solid gold case back. Inside, Frederic Piguet caliber 1185 doing business as AP caliber 2385, 37 joules, unidirectional automatic winding, 40-hour power reserve, 21,600 vibration per hour beat rate. It features a quick set date, though not hacking seconds. It is a high horology chronograph caliber that is both hand finished and hand adjusted in 5 positions, the high horology and chronometer standard. Finally, it features both a vertical clutch for crisp and jump-free engagement to the seconds hand, and a column wheel for crisp feel and a tactile report when you actuate the chronograph. And if you wish to leave the chrono running full time, that's another advantage of the vertical clutch. You can just engage it and then regard your center minutes, hours, and seconds as though the chronograph sub-registers weren't there. So this is a timepiece that is chock-a-block with fine features, a true high horology movement inside an iconic shape, and exquisitely executed in red. Not pink, not rose, red gold. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this rare rose gold 39mm Royal Oak chronograph. And we're back with the Royal Oak Chronograph by Night Plenty of Lume.